The doctor is in.
Good evening. The doctor is in. How you doing?
I'm great, Dr. Mo. How are you?
I am fantastic. Excited about the end of 2020.
Oh my gosh, one more day.
Looking
One
forward
more
to
day.
2021. I'm ready.
I can't wait. I got to put my 2021 hat. But we have a great last show of the year. Can you believe this is our last show of the year? Wow. I think when I look back and we started on like April 17th.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Middle of April, and here we are, the end of the year, and
We are.
And we've done, it's crazy, right? But we're gonna have a great show today. We have some great breasties.
Yes.
Yeah.
So many lessons. I mean, it was like a party before you guys joined us live. We have been in here. Shantae's got it right. We have been in here
partying, doing it,
celebrating life lessons, talking about thriving through 2020 and beyond. Nothing is stopping these women. So we're gonna let them introduce themselves, Ricky.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And so, I call them Metathrivers. I'm not sure where I got the word from or if I made it up, but to me, they are living with metastatic breast cancer, living their best lives with metastatic breast cancer, doing amazing things. And I call them Metathrivers because they are thriving every day. So we're going to talk about, what it's like to live with metastatic breast cancer. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves, and then we'll go do a quick introduction. We'll go back and do stories, and then start talking about stuff, our normal stuff. So, Allison, you go first.
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Allison Tischler. I live in Connecticut. I have metastatic triple negative breast cancer and have been living with it for just over 2 years, and mostly doing well. So.
Awesome. Shantae.
Hey, so I realized I was like your first guest, and now I'm like the last guest.
Yeah, what? That's so right. Right.
I've been on here a few times, guys. My name is Shantae Drakeford. I am 36 years old, but at 31, I was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer as my initial diagnosis. I'm triple positive.
Great. And Stephanie.
Hey everyone, my name is Stephanie Walker. I live in North Carolina, and I'm metastatic breast cancer de novo, going on almost 5.5 years. Almost.
Oh, wow. And de novo means you were diagnosed
stage 4 right out of the gate.
Yeah. I'm about 5 years out too.
Wow. Well, you guys are like sheroes, my sheroes. And so let's talk about it. I think that, we have a lot of data, but, metastatic breast cancer is not the one you want, right? And so these amazing women are fighting like girls every day, doing treatment, doing whatever, dealing with a lot of issues. And so let's talk about them. Shantae, since this is not your first rodeo, you go first.
Okay. So, no one wants cancer at all, right? And it's not in anyone's field of vision. So I'm young, got diagnosed at 31. I was having issues with my breast since I was 25, but I was denied and delayed a mammogram, any type of high risk screening. I had nipple discharge. I had cysts that eventually turned into a hard lump. And I had some benign issues called an intraductal papilloma, which was causing the nipple discharge, which is like a small tumor in my breast duct. And, being diagnosed with stage 4 initially was very shocking. And I didn't know a lot about it. I'm a nurse practitioner by trade, but I was a registered nurse then at the time. And my specialty was not oncology. I worked in medical surgical, I worked in labor delivery, mother baby, etc. And so it was really shocking to hear. And I thought I was going to die, and that's the first thought you think when you get diagnosed with this disease. You think you're going to die. And I went researching on Google, like they tell you not to do. But it was this one line that really gave me hope. It was saying, like, some people can live up to 15 years with this disease. And that gave me pure hope. And I feel in my soul that I will live that long. Metastatic breast cancer is lifelong, meaning we will be on treatment forever. No remission. There's no, when you're done with their treatment, there's no why you're not bald, because there's no look. We all, as you can even see, we all look different. Some of us are younger, some of us are older, some of us have hair, some of us do not, some of us are thick, some of us are skinny. We have different side effects, different symptoms. The cancer that I have, it spread to my lungs, it spread to my hip. I was on crutches for 5 months. I had to get radiation to my hip. It was about to break, literally. The tumor was that big. I had an 8 centimeter breast tumor. I have a tumor in my rib and multiple spots in my spine. And you would look at me now. I mean, I look healthy, right? Healthy. What is healthy? That's a term that is,
what is healthy? Yeah.
but living with this disease is good. You gotta take the silver lining in it. And what I learned is that you can't plan nothing in life. Me, I was young. I was planning having babies and all these things. I was going through infertility. But the hormones that I was receiving, it essentially made the cancer spread more, because I am triple positive, meaning that I have the cancer grows off of hormones such as estrogen, progesterone, and HER2. But since this is lifelong, you want to try to live the best life that you can. And I always go by the motto, do as much as you can now until you can't. And I can't control it. So I try not to worry about the things I can't control.
Well, and what I heard you say was, I heard you say living with it. You didn't say dying from it. You said living,
Exactly.
right? Is a distinction there. And I think that's a really important one, because if 2020 has taught us nothing, is that we don't have nearly as much control over anything as we all thought we did, right? The entire world got put on timeout. It wasn't just one country, wasn't just one part of the United States, wasn't one city. Everybody got
Everybody everywhere.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yep. I met a woman online last week. She's a 19-year metastatic TNBC survivor. So there.
Wow, that's
Wow.
amazing. And there's so many people out there, but I just don't think they're registered or like out there and advocating as much. But that just gives you so much hope.
It does.
If you happen to
They
be
don't even know
watching and you are a long-term survivor, we would like to hear from you. Let's just plug in right now. We want you on the show, absolutely, because we need to celebrate those stories, and we need to hear them, and we need to discuss it. So if anybody's watching and you know somebody, who is a Metathriver, beyond 10 years, we want to know. We want to talk about it.
Yeah, we want to talk about it. Yeah. Yeah, when she got diagnosed, they didn't even call it triple negative. They didn't have a name for it.
Wow.
They didn't tell her that till like 10 years ago. Right.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Okay, Steph, what's your story?
Well, Steph's story is 57 years old at the time when I was diagnosed. Routine normal mammogram. I missed it in December, got it done in June. Hung up on the lady a few times because I thought she had the wrong number. But anyway, fast forward, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. No lump was ever felt. No signs and symptoms, rocking my world, working as a hospice nurse. 7 days on, 7 days off. You can have a better job than that. But anyway, it was hard. It was actually, I don't think I grieved having breast cancer, metastatic breast cancer. I grieved after I was told I couldn't work 3 years later. Because of the side effects and the complication, as Shantae had said, that you have with metastatic breast cancer. I ended up with a blood clot, then I had a TIA, so doctor said, I was done. So with that being said, it is true, no matter, we were having this conversation prior to going live, that metastatic breast cancer is the one that will kill you. It will. Right. Nobody knows when you're going to die. We all look good. Don't you hate that little thing when some girl, but you look so good.
No.
Girl, you look good.
You don't look like you got cancer.
As you're dragging your leg behind you and your wig is cocked to one side, but girl, but you look good. But anyway.
You just look good. How old did you say? Do you mind sharing?
I was 57 when I was diagnosed. I turned 62 on the 23rd of this month.
60.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. So it's forever, dealing with side effects of it. I'm living with it. And when we're going to talk a little bit after a while about some lessons learned, I had a very hard one to learn. And when I think about it, I cry. I want to cry, but it's a hard disease to live with. But the good thing is that I am living with it. So I get up every day and praise God for the ache in my legs, my back,
Mhm.
you know, it's like, thank God I can feel that, you know.
Amen.
Okay.
It's better than looking at the daisies from this end instead of the roots on the bottom. So
Right.
that's the story. And I have been NED since March of 2016.
Wow.
So say that, what does that mean to people?
NED, no evidence of active disease.
All
So
right.
the cancer is there. Every scan, it had nets to one area only, and it was my right iliac crest. So every scan that I get of my abdomen shows that there is a sclerotic lesion there, which the cancer was actually there, but nothing actually glows. I mean, and I've
Wow.
stretched out my scans now to where I'm getting them every 6 months, not every 3. So now
Wow.
you can squeeze my belly, my head won't glow as much from, you know, all the scans, but
Oh, worm.
it's part of life and I'm rocking it. So
That is good. You are rocking it. You are
first line treatment.
All right, rocking it is right.
rocking it. You're
Yeah.
right.
Oh, I'm on my first line as well still. That's
Yeah.
That's a blessing, right? That's
That's
explain that
such
to
a
our,
blessing.
explain that to our audience, what first line means, Mo, will you?
So, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. Let's hear from Shantae. She's a
Okay.
healthcare provider. Go for it.
So when you have metastatic breast cancer, I mentioned it's lifelong. And in essence, you have so many, depending on the subtype of cancer you have so many treatments that's available for you in this bag, right? And so each treatment you pull out that bag, you want to try to get as much out of it because your body essentially stops working with this medicine. Your body becomes almost immune to the medication and it stops working. So that's why we have to get scans every 3 months, 6 months or so often, so we could see if any progression or further spread has occurred. And once you have progression or further spread, that medicine doesn't work. So you got to toss that one. You got to get another one out the bag. And you keep getting one. Because this is a terminal illness, we're basically keeping the cancer at bay. And so if you're still on the first line, that means that's your first drug you've used out that bag. And you've been able to have that. Some people get 3 months, some people get 6 months, some people get a few years. When like me and Stephanie, we've been on ours for a few years. Like mine is 5 years now, and this is our first drug. So that's a blessing. Not everyone gets
Really
that
is a
opportunity.
Truly.
And I think it's important to mention because people, you know, have had a lot of things to say about this COVID vaccine, right? And one of the recurring things I keep hearing is, well, how come there's no vaccine for HIV and for cancer?
Yeah.
But we were able to come up with this vaccine for the coronavirus so quickly. One, it wasn't so quickly, but two, I think people need to understand that cancer, one, is many, many different diseases. It's not just one disease, but also that cancers are so sneaky. They keep finding ways to evade the medicine. And that's why you end up on one drug and then it stops working because the cancers they're kind of smart. And so the drugs target different things. So a chemotherapy where you lose your hair might target what we call the cell cycle or the reproductive cycle of a cancer cell, where another drug might target the estrogen pathway where estrogen is making it grow. And so different medicines target different things. And it's so hard to come up with a single vaccine because the cancers are all so different and they constantly mutate and figure out how to survive, how to evade the drugs. And so it is a little bit different from a virus in that way, like the coronavirus. As soon as we knew what the spike was, you cut the spike, you present it to the T cell gives it to the B cell, and B cell says, okay, next time I see it, I'll get rid of it. But cancer is different every single time.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's a good segue to my story because I'm, I guess, the outlier. So I'm, I guess, starting backwards. I'm not on treatment right now, but I'll get to that in a minute. But I would be on my 5th line of treatment. So
in 2 years.
Yeah, in 2 years.
Wow.
So
Negative.
Wow.
yeah. So to tell you my story and also I'm different from these ladies in that I did not have de novo breast cancer. So I did not have de novo metastatic breast cancer. I had a prior breast cancer. So in 2007, I had stage 3 estrogen positive breast cancer. I was a brand new mom at the time, and it was the most devastating thing. I don't know if I'd seen my baby grow up. So anyway, I had a year of treatment, and very aggressive treatment because I was only 34. So they hit me with everything, and I did okay. I did well. So I spent 10 years in total and complete remission with no issue at all. And people always talk about milestones. They talk about, oh, once you hit 5 years, you're okay. Once you hit 10 years, you're okay. Personally, I don't believe any of that, especially for young women. I don't think those statistics reflect the experience of young women. So about just over 2 years ago, I felt a lump in my neck, and otherwise I felt fine, but I was worried, and I went into primary care for that, and they said, oh, it's nothing. But then I came back a few weeks later because I was worried, and we had a biopsy, and not only did I find out it was metastatic breast cancer, but I found out that it was triple negative. And I was really, really surprised because I didn't know that it could change. So yeah, I was in for a big surprise, and went through different lines of therapy. I actually feel like I did better, or I have been doing better than I expected to. So that was really good. And I have that sort of point of comparison, which is the first time versus the second time. I feel like this time the doses are lower. They dose chemo differently, so it's more manageable. So I'm able to live with being on chemo. Whereas my first time was stage 3 cancer, I really didn't feel like I could live with it. I felt like it just knocked me down. So I've been on a number of different therapies, and as Shantae was explaining, you're on it for a while, and then it stops working, and you move to the next thing. So that's kind of been the game I'm playing. It almost feels like a game where we're trying to be one step ahead of the cancer. So I feel very fortunate. I have a doctor who I really, really love, and we're always staying ahead of it, and we're looking for any signs that the drug isn't working, and will quickly change. I've been on a number of different drugs. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say drug names, so I won't, but I'll sort of allude to it.
You can if you want to. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. So the first drug for one of the first drugs for metastatic triple negative breast cancer came out in the spring. It was FDA approved, called Trodelvy. So I was fortunate that I was able to be on that. So it's there's more and more happening in triple negative breast cancer, which is exciting. But anyway, in terms of where I am right now, I mean, I feel very fortunate that on the one hand, I've had this, many treatments, and it's been hard, but we've been doing a really good job keeping the cancer at bay. So I just have, I have a low level in my bones. I have nothing in my organs. I have one spot in my neck that's been really kind of like Stephanie, where you're talking about having one spot that's a pain in the neck. Now I know why there's the expression pain in the neck.
For real.
Because it literally is. So I had a really big freaking tumor on my neck, and it's and actually one drug, since we could talk drugs, Picray, which I had the no, I'm not thinking, but there's a certain mutation you have to be able to take Picray, which I had, and I'm sure some of my friends who are watching will raise their hand. Oh, yeah, that one. I forget. But anyway, so I was on Picray about a year ago, and I had a big freaking tumor in my neck, and about 10 days later, I kid you not only was the tumor gone, but there was a hole in my neck. It looked like I had been shot. It was horrific. It was a horror show. So I was taking pictures and sharing it with my Facebook groups and stuff. And even Facebook wouldn't let me post the picture because you know how they have those filters. If it's like a horrific image, they wouldn't let me post it. Anyway, so I went through, I'm going on, but I had to go through wound care to take care of that. But anyway, at this time, I've been through a lot, but at this very moment, I'm very, very good. And we've gotten that under control. My wound is fully healed. I've had radiation on my neck, which we're really glad I was able to do. And believe it or not, I spent 2 months off of treatment. So, my doctor said, he's like, wow, you're Yeah, well, first he said, I don't know, I'm not sure what to do, which was interesting because he's like absolutely brilliant doctor. So you think that someone like that always knows what to do. I'm not sure. He said, you're very, very stable and there's really nothing anywhere else. So I'm going to give you a break and let's see. So I've had that for 2 months. I'm going to see him in another week or so. We'll see if I get to continue my break. So,
Oh man. Breaks out, I think, are a blessing sometimes,
yeah.
especially with us, because I've always envied early stagers because you guys go through it and then like in like a year or so and then you're done, right? And you could go kind of,
Yeah.
you still have some leftover residual side effects, but in essence, you could stop your treatment. Versus with us, like we have to continuously take it. And I always was like, I wish I just get like a 6-month break
I
and
just
just
want one.
kind of feel like a little normal, like without the aches and pains and without the nausea, vomiting, without certain things. But then you get that little fear, like if I don't take it, is it gonna. But I just think it's always like if you could take a break, sometimes it's almost feeling like you're revitalizing your body again.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Sometimes
I
we
wish I
have
could
to.
take a break.
Yeah.
I wanted just 1 month without appointments, 1 month without,
Mm.
oh, wouldn't that be just nice? But then, like you said, in the back of your mind, it's like 1 month away from medicine, then the cancer will think, well, she fell down on the job, let's go for it. So I can't take a chance.
Yeah. I mean, it's always present. Even like I felt, and I don't know if my physical therapist might be online or watching. But I have really bad lymphedema. Oh my God, it's so bad. But I have so much swelling in my chest, and I felt something like right here, and I'm like, of course, scared, and I think it could be fluid from lymphedema. I don't know. I let my doctor know. So you're never out of the woods.
So
No.
let me ask you
Have to
this
be.
question.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like, for the early stage folks who are on hormonal therapy, or if they're triple negative and there is no therapy after their chemotherapy and their surgery and their radiation, there's a lot of anxiety about recurrence. And for people who are metastatic and you're on medication, there's a lot of anxiety about that and wishing you could come off. And for people who are on a sedation, and I mean, on a holiday, they're anxious because they're worried that it's going to come back. How do you deal with anxiety, period, at any stage, at any day, anytime when you feel like it's up to here, right? And you're treading water? What do you do for that anxiety?
Well,
Like,
I have had, thanks to meds, and I'm going to be honest, I was always one of these people that, if you need to have a mental health intervention, go
yes.
for it. But not me. I'm the nurse. I don't need that. I don't need the intervention. But COVID, I'm going to jump there. COVID, I fell off the mountain. I needed an intervention, a serious intervention, because I became suicidal. And with that being said, I needed somebody bad. And I was so thankful that my team also listened to what I had to say and got me the help that I needed when I needed it. Because dealing with the anxiety of progression, and I'm good, but you hear that, oh yeah, I was good for 2 years then, or I was good for 4 years then, and so here I am good for 4.5, almost 5 years. What next? I'm just waiting. And thank you for PRN Ativan when I really get anxious, and also on medicine for depression. And yes, there's a bunch of us nurses that are retired and those are still working that are on antidepressants. So come on, wave your duloxetine, and no, I'm just joking, in the air. But
Love that you can joke about it, because people think that healthcare providers aren't supposed
but
to
I
go on
can't
medication.
joke
That's a load of crap. People,
okay.
you need
I
what
can
you
joke about it. I can joke about it now, but then it was, you don't want to, how we used to label? You don't want that label following you around.
Right.
That's what I used to think. Now, metastatic breast cancer, nothing bothers me now.
Okay.
Do what you gotta do. and recognize it and take care of it. You know, it's like you're doing your chemo. It's whatever you need. You got to just do it. And there shouldn't be a stigma about it. It's okay. You know, to make you feel better. And I think that's one of the things, you know, that I've watched Allison struggle with a little bit, almost like if you have a symptom, and to me, a side effect is a thing. When you say nausea, the word is cool, but what it really means is you can't go to work today, or you can't cook dinner for your kids, or you can't take a walk, or you can't. So it's not really the side effect that's on that list of paper that they give you. It's how it affects your life, right? It's what you can and cannot do because of that thing, right? And so, you know, she's been struggling with this lymphedema pain. It's like, at what point do you say enough is enough? Like, give me some more drugs, or give me a different drug, try something. And it's like a struggle because you sort of don't want to take the drugs, but then you should take the drugs because they'll make you feel better. Like, why not feel better? So it's like, when do you make that decision to change the routine just to make yourself feel better? Like, it's okay, right?
Yeah. You don't have to be a hero.
You have to give yourself permission
Yeah.
to do that.
I feel like
Go ahead.
yeah, I feel like we have this sort of stoicism in our culture, and we're all sort of taught to, like, oh, just withstand the pain, withstand the depression, be tough, but that doesn't work. And
No.
I guess, like, that's one of the things I learned, and I was talking to Ricky about that, because the lymphedema pain, it's like a whole hot mess of, like, you know, I mentioned my you know, the hole in my neck that's still healing, and that impacts my shoulder, and then I have lymphedema on my arm, and it's very painful. One of the best things that I've been doing is working with palliative care in the hospital. And you know, I just want everyone to know about palliative care, that it probably exists where you are, and it's not just about death and dying, it's about living. So they're
Quality of life.
so they're there to help you live a better life with cancer. So there are a couple people there who are really important to me, who I speak with routinely. So one is, there's a pain management doctor who, and I'm very fortunate that I have appointments with him every couple weeks. So we kind of talk about how I'm doing. And then the last time I talked to him a few weeks ago, you know, he had said, well, because I was hesitant to take more opioids. So I take OxyContin, because it's one of the only things that helps. That's an opioid, and it has side effects, and it can make you loopy. But he was, and I had always been kind of strict. I only take that at night because I don't want my daytime functioning to be affected. But he said to me the other day, he said, why don't you think about it for during the day? And at first I said, no, absolutely not, because I want to be like brilliant and do all my things. And then I've had this Christmas week where it's been quiet, and I'm kind of thinking more about the pain. I'm like, yeah, this sucks. Like, why I'm in pain? I can't like bake cookies with my family. You know, this freaking sucks. So I called him up and I said, let's get me on that. You know, I sort of had to put behind that stigma, like, oh, I don't care if I'm taking an opioid during the day. If that's what I need, and my doctor says it's okay, and it's actually something you can do, your body can get used to it. You're not going to be a space cadet. I'm functioning just fine, although I'll admit that I've been, you know, enjoying a few extra naps, but who can, you know, who doesn't need that? So
I take a nap over pain.
Yeah. And then another important person in that palliative care, you know, they have spiritual counseling. So I go to, there's a chaplain there who's just wonderful, Chaplain Jane. I hope she doesn't mind me mentioning her. And she runs a support group and a prayer group, and she'll do one-on-one counseling. And, you know, we just talk about all kinds of things, but we also pray, and she kind of like helps direct that for me. And it's been, you know, really helpful and really wonderful. So
it sounds like to me what I'm hearing is that you finally freed yourself of your own expectations, right? Because isn't that what we do? We put ourselves in these boxes of how we're supposed to behave, how we're supposed to feel, and despite how we feel, how we're supposed to present to others, what we're supposed to do, what we're supposed to not do, what we're supposed to take, how we're supposed to, you know, put on this face, or we're supposed to wear this wig, or we're supposed to have reconstruction and not go flat. And like, there's all these expectations. And when you let go of some of those expectations, maybe you're able to give yourself some grace. And like Carrie says in the chat, do what you need to do, you know, and if it's opioid in the middle of the day, that's okay. If it's prayer, if it's a nap, if it's saying no, then that's what you need to do in that moment. And allowing yourself to do that is something that many people probably never, ever do. You know, so many people go through life and they just live in these spaces that they think they're supposed to be in. It's like driving in lanes in between the lines. And there's no lines of metastatic breast cancer. There are no
No.
street lines and very few street signs, right?
Yeah.
People
You
do that
kinda-
without cancer. No, if you think about how many people are like in some kind of misery with a mental health issue or something, and they just, you don't have to get cancer to take care of yourself and do
You
what
have
gotta
it.
do,
Yeah.
but
And it's sometimes getting cancer just emphasizes it more, or you discover new things about yourself that you didn't know. Before I got cancer, like you mentioned, anxiety, I had no anxiety. I mean, I went through a lot of things in my life. I was a foster child. I was the first one to go to any higher education. I grew up in DC and poverty, and you see a lot there, right? Substance abuse, mental illness is all around you and your family and things. And I've overcame so much, and then I get cancer. It's almost like all those things prepare me in a way for it. So, everyone know me for being strong, and I became more emotional when I got cancer, and I started to like be feeling that guilt anymore, because what I feel and go through is for me, and I'm not going to let you project what you think I should be feeling and everything on me. And that entitlement, I kind of like, I don't like it. And I was told I was in denial because the way I was operating so optimistically about it. They was like, "Oh, you're in denial. Why didn't you cry?" And like, well, why? That's a waste of my energy. And I prayed to God to take the worry away. And I literally tell you, since that day I prayed about that, I've been almost at peace. And so you asked, what do we do with our anxiety? I pray. I have people, right? Some people who have cancer, they understand I could go and vent, cuss, and scream, and I could laugh and joke. And I have like a quirky, warped humor, I guess if you want to say it. And if you could cope with it, you can. You can. I don't care. It's all about how I can overcome it. And some days I'm in the bed and I can't move. I can't get up. And then some days I'm happy or energetic like this. But it's an up and down. But I'm happy and grateful to have my days, and I can. Like, I recently had a person who understood me through and through. She also had metastatic breast cancer. She was super negative. My friend Shantae, a lot of people know her in the advocacy world, and we were real close. We were tight. She was my person. And to lose that person, it sucks. But you got to think on it. You accept that type of relationship when you go in it. One of us ain't gonna make it. We don't know when or where, but we cherish those days with each other. Each time I see Stephanie, I'll be like, "What's up, Stephanie? What's up, girl?" We may not always divulge what we're going through, but at the end of the day, I'm happy just to see someone face that can understand it. Even if you don't understand, just being with me and being in my presence is an honor. And time to me is precious. I value time. And Corona be trying to strip the time, but that's okay. I'll think of a new way to get my time.
Let me flip the script and ask you guys about anger. Is there value and is there power in anger?
Get it out.
Yeah, I was gonna say getting those feelings out, but I don't even know if I've been angry about this yet. The only thing, I'm not angry about cancer. What I'm pissed off about is that cancer took away my ability to work. I'm just pissed off that I can't work as a nurse anymore.
Yep.
I really am. And I took that harder than the cancer diagnosis.
Oh, me too.
And it just kind of like, I'm ticked off because you got people that go out there to work and they ain't doing their jobs right. I know because I was your patient and you didn't check my IV and it infiltrated. So anyway, I know. I mean, that's why I'm angry. And I don't get angry about it often. But I did retire my nursing license.
Wow.
Wow.
This month.
This month you did? Wow, this month.
Incredible. But
it's a guilt, you have goals and you have dreams, especially someone who's young like me. I have aspirations, but I still finished it, but I like you say, you cannot, working as a nurse, especially on a unit, it's 12-hour shifts. I was doing 12-hour shifts, night shift, labor and delivery, plus clinicals. Like, my body cannot do that no more. When I try to go back, thinking my mind was like, yeah, you got this. And then the shift ended. I'm like throwing up. I'm like fainting almost. And you have to really look at the restrictions that you have to take care of yourself. I had major migraines where I thought I had brain mets, but it was because of the activity. If you do too much activity, you know, it could do that. So you got to understand your limits and what you can do, and do what you can, and not feel guilty about what you can't do, but try to focus on the things that you can do.
You turn it around. You turn it
Yeah.
around. All that energy that I used at work for my patients in hospice care, I turned all that around into advocating
Yep.
for people like me living down in rural communities, being Black, being
Yeah.
old, being decrepit. No, but you know,
Ah,
just
no way.
turning it all
Not
around
even
and
close.
trying to get positive out of it.
Rechannel.
So,
Yeah,
I
rechannel.
love that.
swinging from the chandeliers.
It's okay to be angry though. Feel the feel.
Yeah.
Just don't stay in it too long.
You know,
So
Shantae,
just talk
Go
to
there and
yourself.
just don't stay.
from the outside looking in, when somebody looks at you, like the first time I met you and you were on our show, I said, okay, so here's somebody, she's a nurse practitioner and she still is practicing. She's going through active treatment. She is a farmer. She's an advocate. She's an educator. I'm on number 5 here. I'm up to 5 things. Right.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, she does this and does this and does that and does this. And, you know, it seems to me like you truly are thriving. And it's so interesting to hear, you know, people never know what you've given up, right, to do what you, to be where you are. And it's definitely the same thing for you. I mean, imagine how many hospice nurses who are feeling burnt out, who are feeling undervalued, underappreciated, who need a perspective and who need someone to help them navigate through that period, to get back to that place of gratitude and get back to that place of feeling valued in their work and get back to that place of being ready to give again, right? Like that's a gift that you're going to be able to give to so many. And so your nursing and your experience, your lived experience still has so much value.
True.
And those are really physical jobs. Being a nurse is a really physical job, you know, and I think Al, even, can you speak to that too? Like, cause she's wrestling with that too, like, you know, work, and again, side effect means you can't work, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel really fortunate with the type of work that I do, because so I work in market research, and actually I worked remotely even before COVID happened. So it's something I've always been really used to, and I've always really liked it. But you know, before COVID and before cancer, I would travel a lot, so that would, you know, that was often a challenge, because that was kind of part of the work, is going to see clients. But now that we're not traveling anymore in the world of COVID, that's kind of gone away. So in some ways, it's like the stars are aligning for me to be able to continue to work, because there isn't the expectation that I travel anymore. We even would go, you know, have these once a year meetings in Los Angeles, which I had trouble going to the past 2 years, and we're not even having it this year. But my work is, you know, it's still on a 9 to 5 type of thing, but there is some flexibility, and I'm very grateful for that I can go to appointments when I need to. You know, I do struggle when, you know, usually my days are 8 or 9 hours, which is okay, but when it becomes more than that, my body just can't take it, especially, you know, with the lymphedema. Like, I try to explain to people, like on my team, I don't think people really get it, but I would say to people, like, I need help typing today. Like, I literally can't type, and they don't get it. I like hold up my arm, which I don't have bandage now, but you know, it's like I literally am typing with one hand. Like, can you help me with this memo? So, you know, there are moments like that. But I do feel grateful. I feel like I've been able to transform my work in a lot of ways to make it more meaningful to myself. So I do. So I work in market research. We do mostly work with pharmaceutical companies. So, and actually work a lot with, you know, Ricky often consults with us too. So I hope that my client, you know, see if any of them are on, I hope that they value my experience as a cancer patient, because we've done some studies about cancer for our clients, about patients and about what patients need. And sometimes, and if they're listening, sometimes I get a little bit out of turn. I'm like, I raise my hand. I'm like, no, we don't need this. Like, go take this off the table. This is a bad idea. Sometimes I get a little bit like rambunctious, and I kind of cross the line. But I really do bring a lot of passion to my work, not only about what cancer patients need, but what other patients need, when they're struggling with diseases, and what type of information do people need. And so
I think that
I feel like I'm able to help, like kind of bring, sort of like you two, like bringing more meaning to my work. And then the last thing I'm doing, which is, I don't know if I can put in a plug for it, but Ricky and I are doing this a study about Black breast cancer and clinical trial participation. And I'm so thrilled and honored to be leading that study with Ricky. And I can't imagine a more meaningful study to be able to work on.
I think it's so important that you're in these spaces, because had you not had the experience that you have, there's a saying that if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And metastatic breast cancer gets left out of a lot of conversations. There's a very heavy focus always on early stage breast cancer, and beating breast cancer and overcoming breast cancer. And once you have metastatic disease, many patients feel like they are not as supported. And you being at the table in these places where research is conducted and where studies are helping to determine what pharmaceutical companies are going to do, what drugs are being put out, what plans there are, how does survivorship look for metastatic breast cancer. Your lived experience is so valuable in those places,
Yeah, the stuff that she's working at, it's God working. I mean, God put her where she is to do some of the work that she's doing that will help all of us deal with, this crazy disease. So it's a good thing, but we have a lot of work to do. But
Yeah,
you
I
guys
feel
are
the-
like
the
rocking
fortunate.
it. You guys are rocking it. And I so appreciate, your friendship and watching you soar. And it's I know that you have good and bad days, and you just have figured it out, and I think, every day is a challenge, but you've sort of figured out how to make it work and how to live your best life.
Well, I got some questions along that line. So let's
Okay.
talk about it, because I promised that we were going to do a top 10 lessons that 2020 has taught you, because we're going to jot this down in the chat for people. But we're going to generate a list of some valuable things, some lessons, quotes, whatever is meaningful that helped you get through this year, and that will help people, put their 2020 in perspective as we're looking at 2021.
Shantarity brought one up, Mo. The first one to me is time. Time goes forward. What is there one saying that says Buddha says you always think you have enough time, but time, like this year, just like in some ways it was like a really slow year, but in some ways it just flew by. Like we have one more day of this year, right? But time is precious, you said, right?
Okay, is that how you would say it? How would you say it?
How would you say it, Shante? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like for real, like value your time. I've always said that. And especially when I first got diagnosed, because 1 week I could be fine, 1 week I could be gone. And so I value that time. And with the coronavirus, I think that really kind of helped people put that in perspective. That you could try to plan your life as much as you can. And you don't know where you're gonna be. What kind of like a pet peeve of mine is when people say, I'm gonna wait to do this, I'm gonna wait to do that, or I'm gonna wait to do this, and I'm gonna have a big house. So you don't know what you're gonna do and what you're gonna have and what's gonna happen. And that question, what do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't know. Like time is changing, things change every day. Remember, I can't plan nothing. So you just live in the moment and in the present. And I think I wanted to add, like, be flexible, right? Be okay with being flexible. That's one thing they taught us in nursing school, is that you have to be flexible. Be flexible with your life and the circumstances. Don't try to be all stringent and cross your T's and dot your I's. Come on, be flexible with it.
I love it. So number 10, value your time. Tomorrow is not promised. Live in the present. Number 9, be flexible. Who's got number 8?
I'm making a list. No, I'm put it out. We can post it.
Perfect.
Number 8, how about mental health care? You have to have that. And this year has really proved to me, as it ties into Shantae's time, coronavirus is a thief. It stole my time. It has stolen time that, of course, none of us are going to get it back. But as a metastatic breast cancer patient, I was beginning to value some of this time, feeling good, so I can check off some of my wants to do. And now here I sit, TikTok, and who's to say that I'm going to be around next week, next month. And yes, that's true for everybody, but you don't have a terminal disease like I do.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So the
That's
time,
great. Don't neglect your mental health, huh?
mental health, yeah.
Love it.
Give into it.
What do you think, Allison? You got a number
Um,
7 for us?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it's sort of like triggered by what Stephanie said, because on the one hand, like you want, and I'm a big traveler, and I feel like have gotten so much out of traveling to different countries, and it's been so fulfilling. And obviously, we can't right now. So right now, we kind of have to be okay, kind of doing nothing, but that's okay. You know, doing nothing is okay, or just lying low is okay. And I think that's, you know, on the other hand, it's also kind of what I need right now is lying low, because I'm healing from just some of the side effects. And you know, it's okay to lie low and chill out. And I just like watch my husband and son and see what they're up to. Like I'm just like a spectator right now in my house because they're like always building things and making things, and I have no idea what they're doing half the time. But
You
I'm
give
like,
yourself some grace. That's what it
but it's
sounds like.
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like to just be. It's okay to be a spectator sometimes, as long as you're with the people you love.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ricky, what you got for us?
I say, I've found a lot of peace in my house.
Mm.
And I've always, lived by myself for a long time, but I've really begun to enjoy my home. And I have a little house, but I have 3 bathrooms. I pee in every toilet every day. I do something in every room every day in my little house. But I've really come to find peace with my home, and like things that I maybe took for granted, like a pillow on the wall or a sign on the wall. And people give me all these signs, look at all these signs I have in my house.
Mhm.
All these beach
Love
signs
it.
at the beach, so I read them now, like they're in front of me all the time, and sort of they were like oblivious, but now I look at them every day and say, wow, that person gave me that sign about that occasion. And I treasure my home now more than ever because I'm here by myself a lot. So it's just become very peaceful to me to be here. And it's funny now because when I leave my house, I want to go back home. Like I'm afraid to go out anywhere, like we all are, right? So but I love coming home, even if I'm gone for 20 minutes, an hour, whatever, to the grocery store. I love my house. I just found peace being in my house.
So create an atmosphere of
Yeah.
peace. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, that's 6. I guess 5. I'm gonna say is learn to lean, learn to ask, learn to tell, learn to receive. And this year has really taught us that it's okay to ask for what you need and to not feel like you're being in position for it. If you need groceries, if you need someone to do
Mhm.
for you, if you need somebody to take the kids so you can take a nap, if you need somebody to take a project off your hands, it's okay to ask for what you need and be really specific about it, because people may want to help and they maybe don't know how to help you.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to help people help you,
Help
but
you
it's
do.
okay to ask. It's okay to receive, right? Because we are all so connected. And COVID has taught us that. What happens in the north happens in the south. What's happening in the east eventually blows its way west, and we're all more connected than we want to admit. So learning to lean, and that's why I got my pink shirt. This is my Sora Posse shirt, and I developed a group of friends this year, and I'm kind of a little bit of a loner. And now I have this group of friends that I can like lean on, and they check in on me. And it's so weird to me, and so I'm so thankful. But I've learned to lean.
That's a good one. And it's really hard for us Black women to do that, as women to do that. We all we're superheroes, but I think we've all had to take our cape off this year.
And it's okay.
And it's
Like
okay.
Allison said, we can give ourselves some grace to be a spectator.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shantae, number 4.
I think like safety is key, and safety could be many things. It could be physical, it could be mental, um, it could be, you could just feel safe in the clothes you're in, and the safety. I think like, and of course with coronavirus, maintaining safety is key. Me, that's a big fear of mine, of contracting it because of the severity that it could do for me because I'm
Right.
high risk, right? So I think practice safety measures, safety and anything you do, safety is key. I mean, I play video games, so blocking is good, safe. I'm safe, playing how to go see safe. Get your base, safety is key, I think.
All right,
Yeah.
safety is key, and find your safe space.
Mm.
Stephanie, what you got for us?
Oh my gosh. I have found that being able to connect with people on a different level, Zoom calls, I'm thought I was a little techie, but I'm techless. But finding ways to still engage with other people. I've had several girls' night out via Zoom, with a glass of wine and chatting. I just had to be a little bit more flexible in still engaging with people. I'm a people person. So I need to have people in my life other than my husband and my dog here. So, I have found being creative in still having that human contact connection.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I know. I think we've been able to connect more frequently with people over Zoom. I know we do Sunday night family dinner,
Yeah.
and my family lives in different cities, but we spend more time together this year than we have in years.
We
Doing
learn about each other.
Sundays, right?
Wow.
Yeah, and we also started like a family chat, a family chat, whatever, text message, and so that goes on all day. And I have to turn my phone off at night because my mother and my nephew are dinging the phone all night, talking to each other.
I love it.
Those conversations have been real. I think we've gotten to know each other better in the past year than we've had in years. So much contact. So
Yeah.
figure it out. Yeah.
What do you
I'll
think?
go with one. So on the word engage in the cancer community, there are so many organizations out there. There's Touch, and there's so many. But find the organization. For me, just finding organizations where it's meaningful. Where I personally find meaning, and I connect with the people. And for the people out there, you may not connect with every organization you run into. Some you might love, some you might not. That's totally fine. But for me personally, when I engage in the cancer community, like doing talks like this or other things, it's really, I've learned a lot. It's been sort of pushing me beyond my comfort zone, but in a good way. I'm actually a quiet person, and I never really thought I would like doing these things. The first time I did one with Ricky, I was so scared, and then when it was over, I was like,
drag her to LBBC.
Oh, I love it.
yeah, but then it was over, and I was like, oh, it's over. Like I was sad. So I realized how much I loved it. Like I realized how much I love engaging in different things. And I think like to everyone out there, like there's probably like some area of passion for you, like where you'll
Find your tribe
and make a difference.
Find your tribe. I love that.
Find your tribe and find your passion.
Yeah.
Wow. I think number one might be gratitude. It's finding gratitude. Gratitude is a currency of the universe, and in everything you're going through, if you can find a thing to be thankful for, if you can find the gratitude, it'll help to keep you going.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's so true. So true. So true.
Wow.
I have another one. I know we're down to 0, but you know what?
Okay. Who says it has to be 10? Keep going.
Keep going. I'm probably the most impatient person I know.
No.
And I don't wait in line for anything. Like I always, where's the shortest line in the grocery store? I don't wait in line. I hate going to Disney because I refuse to stand in line, right? So I hate standing in line for anything. I'm so impatient, but I have had to learn patience because what are we gonna do? What am I gonna do? I can't go anywhere. We have no control over our world right now, absolutely none. So I've had to, kind of appreciate patience, and now I'm like, okay, well, I guess we'll have to wait till next week or wait till Tuesday or wait till whatever.
And something that none of us has talked about, none of us have mentioned.
What's that?
We have had to learn to cook all over again, right?
I've been a cook. Okay, honey.
Right?
I've been a cook. I cook
I've
more.
been a cook. I love cooking.
I
Okay.
used to like to cook too, but then
Yep.
again, I knew that I could go out to eat too.
Right.
True.
And that don't happen very much. So now I've had to learn to dust off those pots if I can find them in those pans and get to cooking some box macaroni and cheese.
Wow. Wow.
You know, I really stopped cooking because I was a slave cook. I was a slave cook when I was married for my kids, and my kids said, "Well, you got mine. Can you please just cook something for me?" I used to love to cook, but I was done. I now stopped cooking. But now I cook a lot.
Yeah.
I cook a lot because I'm hungry.
And we grow our own food more and more, right? Everybody's got patio gardens, we got
Garden,
aqua
yep,
gardens,
yep,
we got,
yep,
even
yep.
if it's just your own herbs, but reconnecting
Got
with
it all at the
Right?
farm.
go ahead, farmer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But learn to cook. That's a good one. Allison, you mentioned something about spirituality, didn't you? I wonder if you could say that again.
Oh, I did. Yeah. I mean, I think finding God, whatever way you find God, I mean, it's different for everyone. But I've definitely found ways to connect, like through certain friends of mine who've helped me, and through the spiritual counsel. My chaplain, Chaplain Jane, who helps me. So I think that's just available for everyone, like regardless of your religion.
And you know what, to
yeah.
me,
Yeah.
take a walk, because when you take a walk, you see God everywhere.
Yeah.
You see
Love
God
it.
all around you, and you get perspective when you see like a leaf on a tree, and how did that get there? And this flower that bloomed, or when a snowflake goes by the last few days, like to me, you see God, and it gives me peace just to take a walk and walk my dog and be outside. And it's been, this morning was 31 degrees when I walked to Starbucks 3 miles, but I still enjoy the air, just the
Mhm.
fresh air. And I left my windows open all summer. I didn't turn my air conditioner on at all, which was crazy.
Mhm.
I'm burning up, but I wanted to feel the air. I wanted to feel the breeze. I wanted to feel the heat, like, just because that's where God is, everywhere all around us.
Yep. I got room for one more on this top 15.
Ooh, okay.
Have fun. Okay.
Have
Find
fun. Dance
your
party.
find your fun.
Yeah,
Fun
find
for fun. I love it.
your fun. I love dance party, whatever you gotta do, right? Find
Yeah.
your fun.
Dance. That's right. Wear those pink boots.
Yep,
Play video games.
yep. I know, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at the point now where I'm having fashion shows in my house.
In my
Trying
closet,
on all my shoes and my heels because I haven't worn a pair of heels in
I know.
almost a
Mhm.
full year. I wear scrubs every day now, and I used to wear my magenta pumps and my cute shoes.
Yeah.
No.
We have club nights here. I turn on YouTube, put on the DJ list and blast it, and we dancing all night long.
Me too. Yep, I have my dance party, get dressed up, put on my sparkle, put my shoes on there. But I will have sat in my closet and just tried on my shoes. Like, you're
You
so
always sparkle, Ricky.
I know, you do.
gotta keep the sparkle, right? Keep the
That's
sparkle.
right. That's right.
Keep the sparkle. And here's a serious one, Mo, that the one thing I really, really worry about is that mammograms are down 85%. And I don't know what our breast cancer world is gonna look like in a year.
2
And in
years. 2
right?
years. It's ballooned up.
It's gonna balloon.
All,
because
all the data is going to be really skewed. Trial
Yeah.
enrollment is down. All cancer diagnoses are up. We're seeing later stage disease.
Yeah.
There's so much. So I think it's a good time, like you bring up, Ricky, that if somebody, if you feel something, if you feel a lump, if you have nipple discharge, man, woman, boy, girl, other human, right? Everybody's got at least 2 mammaries. Every human's got at least 2 of them, right? No matter what your gender identity is. If
Yeah.
you feel something, see something feels off to you, go see your doctor, even a virtual visit, because they can put it in order for the imaging that you need. They can get that mammogram ordered. They can get that ultrasound ordered. They can get that PET scan ordered if you already, if you're a thriver. But, don't delay it. Don't wait. Don't put it off, because the impact of stress on the body is so very real. And I have seen it this year just in the types of patients and the disease that we're seeing. It's just so much more advanced. So
Yeah, and look what Shantae had to go through to get her first mammogram after 5 years of advocating for herself. So especially for our young women, you know, if you have a telemedicine visit and the doctor doesn't listen to you or hear you or whatever, get another doctor, go someplace else, fight for yourself, advocate for yourself. Don't let this COVID thing stop you from even standing up for yourself and fighting for what you believe is right in your body. Like, no,
And
you're
if
normal.
you
So
feel like that you can't, call me.
call me, call any of us, right?
I will do it for you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true.
I'll go on a virtual visit with you.
I
I'll
was
talk
just gonna say that,
around.
Shantae, put us on the FaceTime, on the Zoom,
Yeah.
bring
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
bring your advocate. If you go into a consult and you can't bring your loved one with you because of COVID, can we FaceTime? Can I Zoom? Can I call in? Can I phone a friend?
Right.
And it's a really good time to have somebody else
Yeah.
present with
Right.
you who can hear the things that you can't hear and
Right.
take some notes and ask some questions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I did want to honor and kind of put attention to those who have died from maybe COVID, other chronic issues, and even metastatic breast cancer, because we're still dying too much, especially in the African American community. I mean, it's too much, and then the coronavirus is just too much. So we just want to honor those souls who have gone, right?
Yeah, this year. Yeah. Too many, too many. Shantae was a really hard one, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we all knew her so well and she was such a fighter. So yeah, we do honor them. And so many, just so much loss by so many families, you know. So much loss by so many families.
I've lost 2 young friends under the age of 40 this
Yeah,
year myself.
Ayana. Yeah.
Ayana and Jasmine. Remember our very first show?
Yep.
Yeah. she's
Yeah.
23.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we honor them. And I give thanks for their lives and for their stories and for their
Mhm.
strength, for their
And their fight.
presence and their fun, their laughter, their
Mhm.
indomitable spirits. Absolutely.
And their
And
fight.
for all of
I
you.
watched them fight, you know, watching them
Mhm.
fight like girls. Yep.
I'm putting the top 15 in the chat, Ricky. I've jotted them all down.
Got them down right. I made
Cool
signs.
beans.
I'm gonna put a page up. I'll put it on Facebook.
Eat some ice cream
I
tonight.
put three
Mhm.
pages. 3 pages. So I'll put this in on our Facebook page too.
Cool beans.
Perfect.
Well,
Any
awesome.
other thoughts? How can people reach you if they would like to, or if you would like to be contacted by some of the folks who are watching from home? Is there any information you want to share on how people can reach you?
Yeah, I'm mostly on Instagram. You can find me Shantae19, SHONTE19. And if you want to follow my farm, if you're interested in that, it's Curemore Farms. That's CUREFARMS on Instagram.
Awesome.
I'm on Facebook, just my name, Allison Tischler. So feel free to message me or friend me.
We'll put your name in the chat because you have to spell it for everybody, Al.
Oh yeah, I guess it's not showing up.
Yeah, we'll put it in the chat.
Yeah.
I'm Stephanie Walker 1303 at Gmail. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Find me, look me up. I'm there.
What's your Twitter? You have a great Twitter. What's your Twitter handle?
Twitter is Face of Stage 4.
Yes, Face of Stage 4. Love that.
Face of Stage
Ooh,
4.
I love that.
Love that.
Absolutely.
Love that.
Wow. I'm Dr. Monique Gary on all social media outlets. And Ricky?
Touch BBCA at Ricky Dove at Touch. Call us, tweet us, email us, message us. We're here. We'll talk. We love to talk to anybody who needs anything.
Yeah. Daytime,
If I
nighttime.
don't know it, I'll call Dr. Mo. We'll find it for you. Whatever you need. You need to go on a birth, whatever you need. We are here supporting
And
our.
if you'd like to come on the show, we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
as well.
Call us, email, tweet, message me on Facebook or whatever, and come on the show, talk about it. We have a great January plan, Mo. Like we have some really good shows. The first week is about, you know, starting the year with the you know, good attitude. On the 13th, Dr. Lori and Dr. Sarah are going to come back on and talk about should breasties get the COVID vaccine? Talk about the vaccine. Then we're going to do a show on divorce. You know, losing 200 pounds from breast cancer. So we have some good shows planned really through March already. So lots to talk about that. We'll put that up on the website and the Facebook page too.
Absolutely will. And we want to thank our sponsors too.
Yes. Amgen, thank you so much for everything that you do for us. And we are going to keep it rolling next year. And Genentech's going to come in and be a sponsor next year. And so We're excited.
informatics, I'm sure, and
Right.
even more. We're excited to partner to bring this education to you, and we
Yeah.
hope it has been relatable, reliable, and real. That's what we set out to do
Mm.
way back in April. We thought we were going to do
Right.
20 shows, right? And that was it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
20
Mhm.
shows, and here we are. How
Right.
many months later, and into the new year? So I'm
Mhm.
so thankful for the
Bless.
opportunity, Ricky. I'm thankful for you, for my bestie, for,
Yes,
for the
I'm
guests
glad.
on the show today, for all the people who are watching and who will share this. Please share this with your loved ones, with your besties, with your caregivers, because these tips right here, this is stuff that it's not just for people with cancer,
Right.
right? This is stuff for everybody who's just trying to get through their day and get through their life and get through COVID and just make it to 2021.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
doctor's in.
Doctor's in. I love you guys. Happy New Year.
Hey.
Love you,
Love to
John.
my
Happy New Year.
soror posse. I love you guys. I'll see you.
Fresh love. Fresh
Happy
love.
holidays. Happy New Year.
Happy holidays.
Love. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.